You've just finished setting up your tank. The glass is spotless, the water is perfectly clear, and it looks ready for fish. But that clarity is deceptive. At this stage, the environment is sterile and incapable of supporting life. Take a look at this enclosed water cross-section. As soon as a fish enters the environment, it produces waste, releasing a highly toxic chemical called ammonia. Inside a closed glass box, there is nowhere for that toxin to naturally dilute, so it begins to accumulate immediately. A standard mechanical filter cannot solve this. While the mesh catches solid debris like uneaten food, the dissolved chemical toxins slip right through the pads completely untouched. Within days, this unseen chemical buildup burns the fish's gills and blocks their ability to process oxygen. This is known as new tank syndrome. To prevent this, aquarists use a method called fishless cycling. You deliberately cultivate a microscopic army of beneficial bacteria to neutralize these toxins before any fish are ever introduced. Successful aquarium keeping relies on the deliberate bioengineering of a living, microscopic life support system. Cultivating that life requires specific basecamp parameters. First, the water must be stripped of chlorine to protect the bacteria, and the temperature should be set between 75 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit to maximize their metabolic rate. Next, the bacteria need a food source. Since the tank is empty, you must dose the water with pure liquid ammonia to simulate the biological waste of a living animal. Raising the ammonia concentration to exactly 2 to 4 parts per million acts as a chemical beacon. This triggers the arrival of the pioneer species, nitrosomonas. These bacteria colonize the dark, porous caverns of your filter media. They anchor securely, multiplying their ranks as long as they have continuous ammonia to consume. By intentionally introducing a controlled chemical threat into a clean tank, you initiate the process of biological colonization. However, as the pioneer bacteria consume the ammonia, they release a secondary, equally lethal toxin into the water called nitrite. As the ammonia drops, the nitrite line rises sharply. This toxic phase causes worry, but the spike is a biological requirement. It allows a second bacteria, nitrospyra, to consume the nitrites, driving them to zero. In its place, relatively harmless nitrates rise steadily. During this phase, you must continue redosing the tank with ammonia. If the original ammonia supply disappears, the first wave of bacteria will starve before the second wave is fully established. Surviving the nitrite spike is a matter of patience, allowing the chemical chain reaction to complete its work. The completion of a fishless cycle is determined strictly by water chemistry data rather than a fixed number of calendar days. To prove the biological filter is fully mature, you use a final test protocol. Dose the tank with a final 2-part per million wave of ammonia and wait exactly 24 hours. This timeline shows the passing criteria. A mature ecosystem will process the entire chemical load before the clock runs out. After 24 hours, both ammonia and nitrate must read absolutely zero. Once you pass the test, you perform a 50% water change to sweep away the accumulated nitrates. At this point, you can introduce a light stocking of fish. This gradual approach allows the bacteria to adapt to the new living waste load. By mastering these invisible parameters, you ensure that every fish you add enters a stable, mature environment that is fully equipped to handle their waste from day one.